Hey everybody, I'm Asian Funk, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be doing my top 20 comic book pickups of 2020. I wasn't even sure if I was going to make this video just because I've been kind of lazy. I didn't really pick up too many books this year, and I had to actually count to make sure I had 20. And I did. I had almost exactly 20 books that I acquired this year that I thought were really cool. They're going to range between slabbed and raw comics, moderns, golden age and silver age books. Now I'm not listing these books in any particular order except for the very last one. They are all my favorite pickups of the year for very different reasons, and it would have been too hard to rank them. I don't really buy books for the grade necessarily. It's just more to have for my personal collection, so a lot of these books will be very low grade to barely mid grade. And it's all about if they present well. I really hold colors and presentation of the book in higher regard than its completeness. Any defects, I will forgive those if it's a choice between not having the book and having the book. I will always try to have the book. So those are like my criteria for why I pick the books that I do. It's more about the significance of the book. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the like and subscribe down right there. You'd really support the channel. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at my top 20 of 2020. So this first book is actually a really cool one. This is Longshot #1. First appearance of Longshot. Didn't really know that he had his first appearance in his own book. And for those of you who don't know who Longshot is, he's an X-Men character. At least that's when I first saw him on the animated TV series. But yeah, what's really cool about this book is that it is a pedigree. Basically that means that this was owned by somebody who really took care of their comic books. And as you can tell is the label here is black, which means it is a pedigree book. This is my first and only pedigree book just because these are super expensive to find. And it's usually not a book that I would want to get. But when I saw this on eBay, I was like, oh man. Had to get it. This is a Savannah pedigree. So I guess these are all named and labeled depending on who the collector was. So yeah, really excited to finally add a pedigree book to my collection. Next up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #4. This is the second print. First time I ever saw this image was on the video game box, I think on the Super Nintendo for the Ninja Turtles game. And when I realized that they had used that art from a comic, I knew I had to get it. So this is a wraparound. Oh, actually, here you go. Because this bag is clear, or this backing board is clear, which is pretty sweet. Highly recommend it if you have wraparound covers that you want to show off. I can't have this without getting the actual first print, which is right here. This is the first printing of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #4. This is, I think, also a wraparound cover. Next up is Captain America Comics '72. This is a Golden Age comic book. I think the last 5 or 6 issues in the Golden Age Captain America run just got really weird, and I really liked it. As you can tell, this one's kind of like a really like horror fantasy type of thing. It's like, it just got super weird, and I love it. It's a CBCS slab 1.5, brittle pages. But the cover looks great. Next up is House of Secrets '92. This is the first appearance of Swamp Thing. This is actually a book that was not on my radar at all. I wasn't looking to buy this book. This book is expensive, especially to find in a decent condition. I'm not really a huge Swamp Thing fan. This is just kind of like one of those classic books to own. And when I saw this on eBay, and it was just kind of like, there's only 2 bidders and it wasn't even like that high of a price point. I was like, okay, I'll throw in an amount, thinking that it would, be outbid like in an hour. It turns out I won it. So yeah, it's really great. It's not in the best condition. As you can tell, the spine is tore up. It's probably hanging by like just the top portion here. I think this would probably get a 0.5 to a 1 if you were to grade it, I think. Maybe a 2. The cover isn't completely detached, so, but yeah, in terms of like the quality of the cover, still great. Like, it's amazing. and I did not pay a lot for this. So I'm super excited to own it. But like I said, this was not on my radar at all. But yeah, first appearance of Swamp Thing. Next up is Blue Beetle number 1. This is actually the first appearance of this guy. The Question. Not a huge DC fan, not a huge Blue Beetle fan, and I definitely am not the biggest fan of The Question, but I did interview Will Murray, who was the creator of Squirrel Girl, and he spoke about Ditko and how he worked with him, and you know, just basically the history of the guy, and it got me interested in kind of like other characters he's worked on, and he actually created this character here. So and I think this might actually be a Steve Ditko book as well, like the art. Saw that this was not going for a lot. I think a lot of people aren't really after this book, and so I just decided to pull the trigger on it. It's pretty brittle as well, not the best condition, but I think for what it was going for, I thought it was worth it, so glad to have it. Next up is Superman 30. This is the first appearance of Mr. Mxyzptlk. He's like a Lucky Charms, Leprechaun, Riddler character. I think this is a character that a lot of collectors are sleeping on, and so this book was super cheap. And anytime I can get a Superman comic for a really good price, I will do it. So yeah, really happy to get this. Next up is Marvel Superheroes Winter Special number 8. I think it's number 8. This is the winter one. Anyway, this is the first appearance of Squirrel Girl. I actually missed an opportunity to buy this for like $30 at like the Stockton Con. And then when I saw on eBay that there was one going for around $35, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna skip out on this. So decided to pull the trigger on it. But yeah, really cool cover by Eric Larson. And yeah, just another character I think people aren't really going after right now, if ever. And yeah, just anytime a first appearance for a book that is this cheap, I'm gonna go for it. Next up is Big Trouble in Little China number 1, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, with a cover by Adam Hughes. This cover variant is extremely hard to find. I've only seen this twice in the last 3 years. And what's really cool is it's signed by James Hong, who is one of the actors in the movie that this is based off of. I didn't really get it for the signature. It's just kind of like a nice bonus. I did get it just before the book. I did get a copy of this before, but it was really jacked up, and it came from, I think, overseas. And so, yeah, I'm really glad to replace that with a really nice upgraded copy. Next up is Longshot number 3. This is the first appearance of Mojo. I think that's also a villain that a lot of collectors are sleeping on right now, and this book was dirt cheap. I pretty much got this for like $10. So yeah, like I said, I will nab a first appearance of a character I like if it is super affordable, and first appearance of Mojo. Next up is Detective Comics number 230. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Mad Hatter. I've only seen this pop up maybe once or twice in the last few years, and usually in not that great condition. And this book is like super expensive. This copy was not, and reason being is the spine has been taped up, as you can tell there. So I'm assuming the cover is detached, but otherwise colors are great, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So yep, first Silver Age appearance of the Mad Hatter. Next up is Green Hornet Comics number 31. No big significance in this book, not even the biggest Green Hornet fan. I really enjoy the art on the cover though. I do miss that sort of wallpaper print, repeated imagery as a background. I also like black backgrounds with characters running towards you. I think that's something that modern books don't do anymore. So since I can't afford anything with Batman or Superman on it, I will take Green Hornet any day. But yeah, really, really cool cover. This is Captain America Comics number 77. I think this is one of the first Golden Age comics that got me addicted to Golden Age books. This is a John Romita Sr. cover, and when I discovered that he had done this cover, I knew I had to get it. So close up of it, it's definitely got some browning and some foxing. It is not in the best condition, but it was definitely affordable. All right, next up is Superboy 68. This is the first appearance of Bizarro. This is a book that I've been looking at and just kind of watching on and off for a year, and you know, this thing goes for probably around $300 to $400 in pretty good condition, but when I finally saw this book for way less than that, I knew I wanted to get it, so finally got it, and I'm pretty happy with it. Next up is Doom Patrol 99. I actually showed this book in a recently recorded video. This is the first appearance of Beast Boy right here. Like I mentioned before, I love shape-shifting characters, and this was a character I actually didn't even know what book he first appeared in, so when I found out he was in Doom Patrol, I was like, I guess I'll get it. And so yeah, it wasn't too bad, and I'm pretty happy to pick this up. Next up is Detective Comics 311. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Catman, who is this guy right here. I didn't even want to bother looking for Golden Age Catman comics, because those things are pricey. So I was like, what is the next best thing for me? And it's this. And it's a bonus that it's in a Batman comic, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with this too. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man 14. This is the first appearance of the Green Goblin, who is this guy right here. Probably the most famous Spider-Man villain. This is also the first time the Incredible Hulk showed up on a Spider-Man comic, so that's kind of like a double whammy. But yeah, this I can't believe I actually got this book, and I must have I think I got lucky for sure, because this book is not easy. It's not hard to find, it's just not easy to find at an affordable price. So yeah, very, very excited to finally own this. Next up is Foom 10. This is, some would argue, the first appearance of the new X-Men. This does predate Giant Size X-Men #1. So technically, this is the first appearance of Colossus, Nightcrawler, and is it Storm? Is that right? That might be right, yeah. Unfortunately, it's missing the centerfold, which is why this book has a green label, which means qualified, and the notes say it is incomplete, centerfold is missing, and the subscription label is attached to the back, so that means this belonged to somebody, but this is a 4.5, and I was not going to skip out on this book. It was affordable, for sure. So yeah, just kind of like a cool thing. I'm never going to go for a Giant Size X #1, so this is my next best thing. Next up is the Incredible Hulk #2. This is the first appearance of the Green Hulk right here. Originally he appeared as gray. I'm not actually sure why they decided to change him to green. I'll have to read this to find out. But what's crazy about this one is that it is missing a massive chunk here. It's probably the reason why I was able to win this, is because no one wanted it. But I figured if I'm ever going to own this book for a quarter of how much this actually goes for, this was my one and only chance. And you know, the rest of the cover is actually pretty great. Like, the color is amazing. Like, it's really great. And then you just kind of get to the top and it's just like, wow. But yeah, I think if I were to get this slab, this would get a 0.5 automatically. If I wanted a blue label, it might get a 3 if I got it in a green label, because of this chunk here. So, but anyway, still super excited to own this. This is probably the closest to Incredible Hulk 1 I'll ever get, so pretty happy with it. And the last but not least, probably my biggest pick. This is my biggest pickup of 2020, and probably one of the biggest pickups of my entire comic book career. This is the Fantastic Four #1, first appearance of the Fantastic Four by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. As you can tell, I've put this rubber thing on top of around this slab. This is actually one of the older CGC slabs, so this is part of my QA testing of the Slab Pro rubber protector thingy. So But yeah, I have to give a huge shout out to an Instagram comic book seller by the name of Young Comics Collect. John, thank you for working with me on this book. Fortunately, it's missing the centerfold, which does affect the story. So for most collectors, that is a big turnoff. That does not bother me at all. I do need to figure out what part of the book was in the centerfold. So if you know what parts are missing in the story, I'd like to know. That would be really great. But yeah, I still would have been a fool to turn this down or pass up. The book is very brittle. It might not say, does it say? It doesn't say that it's brittle. It just says it's incomplete. But it's definitely the sexiest 0.5 I've ever seen. I remember reading the comments, and I think Alex the Comic Hoarder had mentioned that this is also the nicest 0.5 he's ever seen of Fantastic Four #1. When I read that comment, I knew I had to go for this, and I'm really glad I did. So I will definitely do a full video on how I acquired this, as there was some wheeling and dealing and trading involved. But yeah, this is definitely my biggest pickup of 2020. Fantastic Four #1 right here. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. All right, bye.